Here is the important point. Mazant's injunction is temporary. This wrong-headed injunction is a Christmas gift to criminals who use anonymous shell companies to traffic fentanyl, exploit people, and hide dirty money. The bottom line is this latest ruling could cast confusion over whether companies should proceed with the submission or not. Everyone is asking, what do we do? More big news on the Corporate Transparency Act. The Treasury has appealed the ruling from last week that blocked the enforcement of the CTA. The 33 million businesses that fall under this are not out of the woods yet. I'm going to explain what this appeal means, how it affects you if you're a corporation or an LLC in the US, especially if you're one of the 25 million or so that haven't done anything about this yet. And besides my perspective, I'll share what one of the top corporate law firms in the US, here it is, what they say about all of this. Thanks for subscribing, turning on alerts, so you never miss out on anything business or funding related. Let's just dive right into this appeal. In this video right here, I talked about the block by a judge last week. But here's what's happened. The U.S. Treasury Department said it is appealing the ruling by a Texas judge blocking the implementation of a law intended to tamp down on the use of anonymous shell companies by criminals and other nefarious actors. The original ruling on December 3rd by District Judge Amos Mazant on the financial transparency laws comes weeks before the January 1st deadline. This ruling is likely to create additional confusion amid a final push by the Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, to get corporate entities to submit the required information. The Treasury Bureau had estimated that there are more than 32 million entities that would need to register under the new program. That's a massive amount of businesses. Chances are good that you're included in this. In August, less than 5 million businesses had registered. So most of you have been waiting on this. Let's be generous and say by now 7 or 8 million have applied. That still leaves around 25 million entities that would need to file if this becomes enforceable. Lawyers for the Treasury filed a notice of appeal on Thursday. The department hasn't said whether it will look to expedite the appeal or not, but a spokesman for FinCEN says, "We continue to believe, consistent with the conclusions of other federal courts, that the CTA is constitutional." So they're arguing with the judgment last week. A lot of you were happy about in the comments. You didn't want to give more information to the government. Does that still hold true? And maybe your mind will change after I read the rest and what might potentially happen. Lawmakers had hoped the CTA would stop money laundering and other financial crimes, but putting it into practice has become difficult. Several small business groups have been launching legal challenges, and this is what led to the ruling last week. Here is the important point. Mazant's injunction is temporary and blocks the Treasury from enforcing the CTA's requirement while he fully considers arguments on both sides. But the judge in his ruling made it clear he thought the law was likely unconstitutional, calling it quasi-Orwellian. Let me just see about that. But this injunction is actually a surprise. The plaintiffs did not expect the judge to do the nationwide ban that he did. They thought it would only apply to the folks who brought this case in Texas. According to the executive director of the NFIB, this ruling is a huge victory for small businesses nationwide and just in time. The beneficial ownership information reporting requirements are a harmful invasion of small business owners' privacy and a misuse of valuable time. Now, here's the flip side point. Anti-corruption and financial transparency advocates criticize the ruling. This wrong-headed injunction is a Christmas gift to criminals who use anonymous shell companies to traffic fentanyl, exploit people, and hide dirty money. Ian Gary, the executive director of the FACT Coalition, said, "The bottom line is this latest ruling could cast confusion over whether companies should proceed with the submission or not." Everyone is asking, what do we do? You're looking to skip to answer that question for you as well. I gave my opinion on it in the last video. Let me reiterate it here. But first, I'm going to bring in some of the experts. This firm here said the firm was advising clients to continue preparing for the law. If they haven't done the work now and decide to wait, and say for some reason the order is reversed, they are going to have a very difficult time getting their act together and filing by the 1st of January. Well, let me tell you this. Lawyers would have you believe this is a complicated thing to fill out. It's not. Yes, maybe if you're an LLC with 20 beneficial owners, you got to gather all their information. The long of the short is all the BOI needs is to know who the beneficial owners are, a copy of the ID, the owner's address, and the company's address. That's pretty much it. The caveat here for this entire video is this is not legal and financial advice. Let me go to what Gunderson Detmer says. One of the top corporate law firms in the US. You can see the data right here. I got a hold of their release on this. But first, have you liked this video yet? Take a minute to like this video. And I just want to give a plug if you're a business owner looking for funding for growth opportunities. Highly recommend creating a free account on Skip at tryskip.com. We give out tens of thousands of dollars in grants every single month. $1,000 grants, $10,000 grants. We can help you find funding, instantly create a business plan using our AI. It's pretty amazing. You can go check that out. There's a new $10,000 grant that just opened up that's due in a few weeks, and a whole bunch more. If you haven't been there yet, go to tryskip.com, create your free account, or use the link in the description. Join the nearly 1 million other business owners and entrepreneurs on Skip. Here is what Gunderson Detmer said. They issued this client alert yesterday, so this is breaking news. They talk about the recent court order, which I've already mentioned, and reiterate the main point here is reporting companies are not required to file beneficial ownership information, initial reports, or amendments with FinCEN at this time and will not face liability for non-compliance while the injunction is in effect. Very important words there. Despite the injunction, reporting companies retain the option to voluntarily submit beneficial ownership information reports to FinCEN. This may be a consideration if you wish to refrain from staying informed with the latest developments here. All the back and forth, if you don't want to keep up with that, you may decide to file now. But here's an important note on the ongoing litigation. There are other cases happening. While some district courts have denied injunctions and upheld the CTA, the legal landscape remains fluid. The government maintains the CTA is constitutional. The next steps are FinCEN has not extended the compliance date or provided insurance it will not immediately enforce the CTA in the event the injunction is overturned. We recommend that all reporting companies stay informed of the developments and be prepared to comply with the CTA's requirements should the injunction be lifted. That's their perspective. Basically, stay informed, consider filing if you're worried about missing out on news. Look, my perspective, it's a bit more blunt. Even if the appeal is successful, the Treasury will likely not keep the January 1st enforcement date. That's almost certain. I would put a lot of money on that. But again, not legal and financial advice. What do you think about this appeal, the judge's ruling last week? Let me know in the comments. If you need BOI help, you want us to file for you, there's a link for that in the description. And if you want funding, grants, or other help for your business, go to tryskip.com and create a free account. Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.